for joining this Microsoft Virtual Academy, where we'll be talking through how to access professional development online through the Microsoft Educator Community. With me today is Ronelle Klink, and Ronelle, you work for Microsoft as a Teacher Engagement Manager. Can you tell me a bit about yourself before we dive into the wonderful world of the Microsoft Educator Community?
Yes, Megan, my experience around the education space is mainly in teaching. I've been a teacher for 19 years, especially in the high school from grade 8 to 12, but also, did some work around universities and that kind of thing and upskilling teachers. I also ran a teacher professional development program for many years as well, first as a trainer and then took over as program manager. And so my experience around education is really about supporting teachers in the education space.
That's great, Ronelle, and you're the perfect person to have here because you're really passionate about teachers growing their skills and becoming better teachers through access to quality professional development. And the Microsoft Educator Community is definitely a hub for really great online professional development opportunities. If a teacher's never been to the Microsoft Educator Community, how would they log in?
So, there's a series of steps which are very simple. You just click on Join Now, and then you would capture your Office 365 details, your username or your email address, and then your password, and then you would access these resources on the professional development space. But also, if teachers don't have an Office 365 account, they can also create a free account, a Microsoft account, and they can also access these resources using a Microsoft account.
So teachers might have an Office 365 account if their schools perhaps signed up for Office 365 or perhaps their provincial Department of Education. But even if a teacher's not at a school that's using Office 365, it's quick and easy to get their own Microsoft account.
Absolutely. So if they go to live.com, they can create, like I said, a free Microsoft account as well, and they can use that to access the Microsoft Educator Community.
Okay, and are there any costs involved for using the Microsoft Educator Community?
Yeah, so one of the the main things that we definitely position the Microsoft Educator Community with teachers is that it's free. Yes, you need connectivity in order to access the resources. So a good internet connection is all you need to access these resources.
Okay, so a free login and access to all of these great free resources. Ronelle, maybe you can show us live. If a teacher goes to the Microsoft Educator Community, what does it look like? What are they likely to see when they get there?
Right, so all we've assumed now is that you've signed in with your Office 365 details or your Microsoft account. And this is basically the landing page that you would see, and you'll see a little smiley face if you haven't added a picture, but this is where your profile is, and you can make certain changes to it. But the main menu is located on the left side, and this is where you can access different resources, etc., and our different MIE programs, etc. But this is the landing page, and if you wanted to navigate to anything, I would start around what we have around the courses and resources.
Okay.
That's where I would start.
So before we get to the courses, you've obviously signed in and we can see your profile picture because you've uploaded one. We don't see the yellow smiley face anymore for you. If I went onto the Microsoft Educator Community and I was looking for you, I could do a search, for teachers in South Africa with the name Ronelle, and maybe there are a few Ronelles out there, but you'd pop up and I would know it was you because I'd see your photo. It's really important for teachers to sort of make themselves visible, and perhaps you can show us how to do that. Because if a teacher from another country is perhaps looking for primary school geography teachers, maybe the teacher wants to do a collaborative project on the weather and wants teachers in a couple of different climatic regions to be part of the project. If a teacher has made their profile public and has filled in some details around the age group they teach and the subject they teach, they'd be searchable and other teachers could find them.
Absolutely. And so the whole idea is that this is a collaborative space, an open space where teachers can talk to each other and communicate. In order for you to do that, so you would click on your smiley face or your picture or your photo, and then you would go to edit profile. And your editing of profile is things where you can add things like your Skype name and that kind of thing as well. So you spoke or referred to the fact that you've got to set your profile to public, where you would do that in this space under profile status, and you would merely just then select public underneath that drop-down menu. And once you've done that, like you say, you'll then be able to do a search for teachers, and you'd be able to find teachers that you can connect with within South Africa if you know them, or you can connect with teachers globally.
Okay. Another thing that's really nice and that teachers love about the Microsoft Educator Community is you're able to earn and display badges for different programs that you've been part of, or perhaps different courses you've completed. We've got a sample on the screen of Phuthi Rachapala, who's one of our Microsoft Innovative Educator experts. And Phuthi has earned heaps of badges. She's a Skype master teacher. She's been an MIE expert. She's also a Microsoft fellow. So if somebody does a search for somebody like Phuthi, they'd be able to see her various badges and accomplishments. And teachers really like that tangible sort of evidence of their learning.
Absolutely. And I think it's also a good way for teachers to brand themselves, you know. So adding a photo is important, but not all your information is going to be visible as well. So if you look at my profile, it says required information, and there's a little asterisk next to it in red. That's the kind of information that you would need. Maybe if you wanted to set up a Skype session with Phuthi, for example, you would see the person's status, their time zone would be important, if they're in the same country, and so forth. So not all your information is visible, it's the necessary information.
Okay. It's also possible through your profile to download a transcript of the various courses that you've completed. And why is something like this important to teachers?
You know, especially in the education space in South Africa, teachers can leverage any course that they've done on the Microsoft Educator and earn SACE points as well. So that's our South African Council of Educators. So if they potentially did something around Microsoft Teams or Sway or Forms or anything like that, they can then earn SACE points for doing those courses as well. So the transcript then becomes a proof of execution or a portfolio that they can upload in terms of a self-reporting process on the SACE website or platform.
So absolutely. Teachers, we want to see them learning anytime, anywhere, and staying in touch with the latest developments in education. But we also know that they need to earn those continuing professional development points. So if you can do both at the same time, why not? And what's also nice about the transcript is if a teacher is looking for perhaps a promotion post or perhaps to change schools, the transcript gives something really nice that they could download, print out, put with their CV, even take a screenshot that shows all of their badges. As tangible evidence that they're a teacher who's in touch with using technology in the classroom.
Absolutely. So Megan, what I've just opened up in the Microsoft Educator Community now is all the badges that I've earned, and then here's your training transcript. And the way in which I got to this was just under my profile, under achievements, and there's the training transcript. And it's in a PDF format. Like I said, you could upload this to a SACE platform for self-reporting as well.
Okay, great. So by now, I'm hoping the teachers watching this are itching to earn some badges for themselves, to get some of those sort of online points, certificates that show evidence of learning. Where would a teacher go if they wanted to do one of the courses that's available on the Microsoft Educator Community?
So the best place is to navigate from the community menu on your left-hand side. And you'll find courses and resources. And what's good about these courses, Megan, is that they also include things around pedagogy as well. So it's not just focusing on technology tools, but it also embraces how do teachers integrate successfully or efficiently different technology tools into the classroom.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things teachers find really useful about this platform. There are other online training courses out there for using things like Microsoft Teams or Office 365. But here the course is specifically structured around your needs as an educator, and you can get advice and input, watch little videos from other teachers that have successfully deployed that tool in their classroom.
Absolutely. So once again, coming back to the landing page on courses, you'll see there'll be recommended courses that you could do, but there's also learning paths. So these are your courses that are a bit longer. So in terms of points, for example, you get a lot more points in completing the learning path as well. And then you have specific courses focused around Office 365, like OneNote and so on. And anything, like I said, around STEM, Skype in the classroom, and then pedagogy.
Okay, so a teacher who's maybe interested in Skype in the classroom, for example, might start off just by doing a single course on Skype in the classroom. And if he or she is then really interested, maybe they might want to go on and complete the whole learning pathway. So more courses all to do with that type of technology.
Absolutely.
So Ronelle, what's really exciting for me about the Microsoft Educator Community is we've recently uploaded some of our own content to it. So these are courses that are around using digital sort of tools and building digital skills for the classroom. And some of them go right back to basics, doing things like using Microsoft Excel to create a mark sheet, using PowerPoint to make a simple presentation. But we find that these are skills that teachers, are sometimes still developing, or maybe they're just starting out, and these are useful skills to learn. If a teacher wanted to find some of these newer courses, where would they look on the Microsoft Educator Community?
Okay, so I see that it's coming up in different forms here, but the way that I would recommend that they go is under courses again, and if they filter by new, it should come up. And there we go. So there's the digital literacy for teachers, and it gives you all the coursework that has been designed that is new.
Okay. Ronelle, can you just open one of those?
Sure.
Because they all follow a similar sort of pattern, but I think it might whet teachers' appetites if they see one. So the one you've chosen is Digital Literacy for Teachers as Desktop Designers, Design a Concert Program. So teachers who've got some IT skills at their school often get the job of, making some resources, perhaps for a concert or an assembly or an honours evening. So these are sort of some step-by-step instructions for how to go about making that. Can you sort of talk us through the different components of the course?
So the course starts with an overview of what the course is about. And then you can download an example of a concert program, so you can maybe use that as a template and make changes to it.
Or you've even just got an idea in your head of, okay, so this is what I'm aiming towards.
Absolutely. And then it gives you the following outcomes. For example, in this one it says create a program and how to do things like inserting graphics and so forth as well. But what's good about this, it takes you through step by step on how to do this. And attached to each of these steps is also a little tip sheet that teachers can use step by step in order to get the know-how or a how-to guide.
And teachers find those step-by-step instructions really useful, because if they already know how to do something, they obviously don't need to click on the tip sheet and see the step-by-step instructions. But if they're a novice teacher or learning a new sort of program for the first time, and they want to sort of see step-by-step instructions, they're all there and quite clear for the teacher to follow along. So we definitely hope that teachers will give these a whirl. And we hope to add to these different scenarios as time goes on. So, if teachers sort of think a topic's missing, or they really want to know how to, develop something, and there's not already a course on the Microsoft Educator Community, they can let us know, and perhaps their course might be next. Well, thanks for that overview of the courses, Ronelle. Something else that teachers love about the Microsoft Educator Community is tapping into Skype in the classroom. So let's talk a bit about Skype in the classroom and what it's all about and how it can be used to make lessons fun and engaging.
Absolutely. So Skype is, it really brings the world into your classroom. So learners get to travel anywhere in the world without a passport. And there's collaborations that could happen with potentially any classroom around the world. So there's different ways in which you could use Skype in the classroom. One of the ways that teachers love is the mystery Skype. So the mystery Skype is two classes would connect across a globe or whatever. One would be based in China, one in South Africa. And the learners wouldn't know where they are based. And through a series of questions that they answer yes or no, they would then find out where the school is based.
So that's a really great way of revising some of that, geography terminology. Are you in the northern hemisphere? Are you west of the Greenwich Meridian? So kids would definitely be revising those terms, but it also brings in some thinking skills and the ability to communicate across cultures and often to learners where English is not their first language.
Absolutely, and to learn about culture, because learners these days are global citizens. So being able to talk to someone in a different language, you could use Skype Translator or something like that as well. So there's lots of tools built into it to support Skype in the classroom as well. So mystery Skype is one of the ways in which you could use Skype in the classroom, but you could also bring in guest speakers into Skype as well. So how schools sometimes use this, for example, is if they invite parents in through a Skype session as an expert, a doctor, a lawyer, etc. Instead of driving into the school, etc., wasting all that time, the guest speaker can then just log in via Skype.
And there are even guest speakers that you can access through the Microsoft Educator Community that have made themselves available. Obviously, a teacher would need to liaise with them in advance and check that they're available. But there are astronomers and geologists and people who work at aquariums that are willing to come into a classroom and chat to the kids and answer some questions for half an hour. And think of how exciting that would be, especially for disadvantaged learners that maybe won't have many opportunities to travel or to go on field trips. Here's a way of bringing the experts to them in their classroom.
Absolutely, and cutting down on the cost for field trips as well.
So in fact, virtual field trips, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, the virtual field trips, you can go anywhere from the rainforest to underwater in a submarine or, that kind of thing. So learners would get to experience that, all they need is connectivity in order to do this as well.
So definitely explore the Skype in the Classroom tab on the Microsoft Educator Community. And again, this is why it's so important to fill out that profile in the beginning, so that if you are available for Mystery Skype, other teachers can see when you're available, because it's no good having Mystery Skype with a class that's fast asleep at the time when your learners are at school. But the Skype in the Classroom tab is well worth checking out. Ronelle, before we close, we've talked quite a bit about the Microsoft Educator Community and what's available through the platform. What would you say are some of the key advantages of using the Microsoft Educator Community?
Yeah, for a teacher, if we're always constantly looking to improve our pedagogy and what we do in the classroom. So this is a great tool that you could use or leverage anywhere, anytime. And it takes you through a process as well, like a learning pathway where you could start basic and then eventually move up to an advanced level. It also provides a lot of information around STEM, which is really big in terms of modern teaching and learning spaces as well. So if you wanted to find out how to do anything, this is your starting point. If you wanted to do things like coding or bring that or invite that into your classroom space as well. As a teacher, you need to be confident in order to use these tools in your classroom, and this would be a good starting point.
Okay. One thing that we haven't mentioned yet is there's also a place where teachers can upload their own sort of lesson plans and ideas for using technology in the classroom. And that's certainly something we'd encourage South African teachers to do, so that they're not just on the receiving end of other people's content, but if they've got a resource that they're proud of or a lesson plan that worked really well, if they share it with the community and make their content part of the pool of what's available.
Absolutely, and in South Africa we need to do that a lot more in terms of our local languages as well. So creating content in our local languages would be key, and then uploading it to the Microsoft Educator Community so that we build all these resources that are local to South Africa as well for other teachers to make use of as well.
Yeah, I mean the Microsoft Educator Community is accessible to all teachers. But we're also hoping that teachers that are really excited about using technology in creative ways will also apply to be Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts. And the place to do that is also through the Microsoft Educator Community.
Absolutely. So once again, it's a community that supports each other in terms of, using different tools and so forth as well. So the first level is an MIE. So you need to earn 1,000 points, which is very easy to do on the Microsoft Educator Community. And as you said, you can then apply to be an MIE expert. So in order to apply to be an MIE expert, once again on the community menu, you'd be able to get more information there, what the program is about, etc.
Okay, but the first step is to join the Microsoft Educator Community if you haven't done so already. So I really do hope that teachers watching who are not already signed up are going to join. And then have a look around, look at those courses, look at those learning pathways, find something that appeals to you and give it a go. Start earning those points and those badges. Ronelle, do you have any final words of advice before the viewers go?
Yeah, I think, like I said, teachers need to start leveraging local content as well and creating their own content. But there's over 300 hours worth of content and courses on the Educator Community and I would really encourage teachers to start using it.
Okay, so with more than 300 hours of content, there's bound to be something that appeals to you that can help you to make your lessons more engaging and exciting. Please do be part of the move towards online professional development and join the Microsoft Educator Community. We'll see you at our next Microsoft Virtual Academy. Until then, goodbye.